I can't tell when my creation give the world a my little boss.
Hey guys, my name is Robert. It's my car. It's a 2020 WRX. I got a few things done to it. Just intake, exhaust, the headlights, some like small stuff, like little plate thing, the decals. Of course, I have an access port, like every Subaru owner ever. Right now I'm running on a tune that's like, there's something wrong with my car, and it has elevated fuel cuts. So I already bought all this stuff, and I knew that was happening back when. So I went to BCP and I said, hey, can I get my car tuned? And they were like, yeah. So I scheduled it 2 months ahead of time. And when this video is being made, which is Friday, the appointment is Sunday night. I have to drop it off. So I waited a while. This has been in my closet for, I don't know, 2-3 months now. So
you parked it for the winter. So
yeah, I put my car away for the winter. And yes, it is a Subaru, but I don't want to get it fucking all rusty and shit. So I kept it away and pulled it out. It's a pain in the ass, but here it is. So now I'm finally doing, what I'm doing is the intercooler, TGV deletes, BCP over at Boost Control in Livonia. They're putting on the aerial separator, the boost controller, the turbo sump restrictor, and then they're gonna dyno tune it. So that's Sunday. It says it's gonna be there for like a week, so I'm gonna miss it, but.
Do you have any estimate on what type of power it's going to be making after the tune, or have they not told you at all?
They didn't really give me a ballpark because I didn't ask, but I'm looking, without blowing my engine up, I want to make somewhere around the 350 mark before I go build bottom end, get pistons, rods, and rod bearings, and probably a new crank, because everyone recommends you get the STI crank, or not the STI crank, a new WRX crank. This is not the same engine as the STI anymore. So that's going to be coming up. Watch for... I don't know when you're gonna publish this video. I probably won't have my dyno sheet back by then, but if I do, you can like put it on the video or something.
For sure.
So
we'll probably do like a results video after we get the dyno tune. Show you guys some pulls and him driving the car and shit.
Yeah. So this is a Grimm speed intercooler. A lot of the stuff on my car is already Grimm speed. I just think they're a really cool brand. They make good products. My turbo studs are Grimm speed because I snapped one off when I was doing the exhaust. My intake is Grimm speed, the belt cover.
So. You can't really see the intake when you say like right
yeah,
now.
it's there. I mean, it's
down
red.
there, yeah.
It's red, trust me. So are my intercooler pipes. They're also red, so get all the red in the bay, hopefully.
Yeah.
With this is going to come out. The AOS is going to go there, and that's what it's going to be. And after that, next step is the 85, so we'll see what happens then. Or flex fuel, I guess. So I can run a little pump gas if I need to. But this is it for now.
And go ahead.
Okay, guys, so I'm like humping around from all the fucking different things I'm trying to do right now. So I was gonna pull the bumper off, and then I said, no, I'll take the old intercooler out first. So I'm working on that right now. There's a bolt here, and then a bolt there with this bracket. You know, you'll see it if you're doing it. You just pull all the bolts out, take the bracket off. And then you gotta get the hose clamp off there, and then I don't think that there's a hose clamp on the throttle body. I think it just sits in there, but I don't know. We'll figure it out.
All right, Robert, so what are you doing now? Or what did you do that we didn't get on camera?
Well, when I was pulling the bumper off, I dropped a screwdriver into my eye, and then I got the bumper off, and now it's off. Oh.
So what's next on though? So there you can see the red intake.
Yeah.
He wasn't lying.
So there's like this thing, which is just kind of part of the wheel well, needs to get notched out, but I can do that later. I'm gonna put the pipe up to it so I can see where it's actually going. I gotta pull the skid plate down, the silver one. You guys, if you have WRX, know exactly what I'm talking about. So
that's it. I'm gonna plug it under here outside.
Yeah.
Show you, but
it's like there. Dark. So I'm gonna take that off next, and then after that's off, I can start pulling off the old charge pipe. I mean, fucking look at this thing. Seriously, they expect a lot of air to get in there. Obviously
yeah, it's
not.
pretty skinny.
And check out my new one. This is the size of my new charge pipe, so pretty
What, 2 inches all the way through?
Yeah, 2 inch all the way through. So, we're opening it right up, and then sold these. I'm gonna do that today too, because if you have the intercooler out, you might as well do the TGVs. So I'm gonna pull that out. These are from IAG. Good stuff. That's the last on the list after I get everything in.
So I got the intercooler out.
There's a lot of leaves in here.
What the fuck?
I guess on Instagram.
We got the intercooler out. What comes out next? Is it the charge pipe?
Oh, this little bracket. So it's like directly after it. Then we'll go and start working on the turbo. Pull the intercooler, like the charge pipe off the turbo, and we'll fish it out. The 8 mil. It's like up there somewhere.
Alright, so right now he's removing the charge pipe. So
Normally?
It's a hose clamp down there.
Yeah, fuck.
Right on the other side of the turbo. Oh wow, actually you're great. You have one here.
Normally you wouldn't shake the charge pipe off first, and you kind of wait a little later, but since I'm doing the TGVs, I'm going to take it off right now.
So that way you can get into the TGVs.
Yeah.
What does TGV stand for?
Tumbler generator valve. It's just like, it's an emissions thing, but it has some restriction where they mount to the intake manifold. So I'm pulling them off. So who needs emissions, right?
That's illegal.
You got it. The way that the charge plate mounts, it mounts on the turbo outlet, and then the bypass valve sits on there. So it's kind of hard to get to. So we'll pull the intake off, and that'll make it a little better.
All right, Robert. So what did we miss that you've done so far?
So I took the charge pipe off. The intake just kind of came with it. So I could pull it out through the bottom. So I took that off too. Why not?
And then we just took off or we're in the middle of taking off this. I was gonna powder coat it red because it's kind of bored. Me and Jake was kind of sitting around doing nothing, so we're gonna do that. We're actually powder coating. I'll show you guys real quick. Wheels for his shifter cart. They're gonna be matte black. Those will come out fucking perfect. So once he's done with that, and then you can tell I have a lot of shit to do in the next few days. I've been behind with moving and everything, and then Christina's grill. Gotta get that done because I told her it was done and it's not, but. By the time she's seeing this,
Hi, Christina.
By the time she's seeing this, it'll be in the mail, so it's okay. She'll forgive me. Yeah. So what are you doing now?
Sick. So you have to flip this sensor around because the intercooler is going to be right here. So break it off. I'll show you the orientation it needs to go in.
PSA, if you go to Harbor Freight and you're buying extensions, don't buy the wobble ones. They're garbage and they destroy your sockets.
I didn't know at the time, but it's a little late for that. So take it off, just like that. And then, I don't know how the fucking... Oh, you gotta take the... Stay within there with the clip on.
It fits.
Yeah, go on. I don't think that's right. Here, fucking... Like, yeah, it's gotta be...
Alright, so he's getting it lined up now. Just put the bracket on the top.
Yeah, there's a bolt. You gotta pull that out. There's 12. Cool thing about this is everything on this car is a 13, a 12, and 14. So, and a 10.
Cap! What? That's cap! That's cap! What is cap?
You don't have a horn? Come on, man. It's not a silver. How do you get the start going in? Almost. Do you want to start going on the side first, maybe? This one's going to hold it up while we do that. Cross start over.
You guys can see it has the white letters. We're probably going to talk to Big Time Graphics.
Lincoln Bone.
See if he can get us a red one, because everything on this car is red. So... Yeah, it's got to come down a little bit, I think.
Yep.
Oh. I don't even think you need to loosen that. Here. Is yours lined up or no? Mine is. I got it fully in. So you started in the one over there. Sorry, I'm super shaky. I'm using an iPhone. I'm poor.
Fast track and vial.
Yeah. Alright, so that one's on there. Let's see what it looks like. You can see that already is looking pretty mean. Doesn't have any of the red pipes on or anything yet, but it's looking good. We're not going to cut his bumper today. That'll probably be a future video. A lot of people, they cut out this section right here, so it goes straight to the intercooler. Looks pretty cool. His wheels, the shifter cart wheels, are just about done. It's magnesium, so we're doing like a really low temp cycle on them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and peek at them, see if they've flowed, and then if they have, we're gonna go ahead and take them out. Now we just pulled his wheels out of the oven. They look pretty good. They're magnesium. Normally I won't do anything that's magnesium, but they're for my boy. They don't really need to be perfect, so when I'm done, they look super fucking good though.
Bar off. I have the replacement bumper bar from Grimm, but you have to, on the other side, you can't see it, pull out the washer fluid reservoir, fish a pipe in, and then you can put the washer fluid reservoir back. So working on that now.
Alright, so right now he's unbolting the intake manifold so we can do the TGV deletes. So it's what, 1 bolt there,
4 on each side.
2 here. I think there's 1 here.
Yeah, but you gotta pull all the hoses and shit off, so it's kind of a pain, but.
So that's the old TGV. New TGV, so basically it's a delete, right?
Yeah, so if you look at this, basically it goes, you know, where your intake manifold is. So it's some sort of emissions control thing. They have the flappers in here, and they like open and close during idle. And BCP suggested I do them because it'll clear up a little more intake air. And a little tip for you guys if you're doing this at home. You want to line up, if you don't have the ones with the reference port, you want to line them up to make sure that you're putting them on the right side. So there, they sit right in, kind of lock into place a little. Line up the holes, your bolts started.
Then you go ahead and put the bolts right back in the intake. And there's one on the other side, obviously, in the exact same spot. So you're just gonna do the exact same thing.
And the cables, they make little plugs for these if you want to make sure when you revert the car back to stock, or if you do, you don't want to make sure any water gets in there, so you throw a plug on it. I'm not doing that because I'm probably never going to sell this car.
So we got his battery tie down out. We're gonna sandblast it real quick, and then we're gonna coat it in the static red. Basically so I can just be useful while he's like actually doing meaningful stuff on his car. Alright, so as you guys can see, we got his little cover, or the little battery hold down blasted. We're about to coat it in a static red. And then Robert, can you give us a small update on what's going on over here?
Just fitting up the pipes right now. I don't even know where that goes. That's cool.
What all have you taken off that we didn't get on video? Was there anything or no?
I took off this bump. You probably saw the bumper bar in the last video. I just spent like an hour and a half screwing with the turbo housing. If you guys get this, or the intake housing, if you guys get this intercooler, I was watching the YouTube video and it's really tight. There's a little thing on the turbo. I don't really know what it is. It's kind of hard to see.
Probably can't see it at all from right here.
Yeah, not really. But there's a little thing on top of the turbo that butts up against the
I can see it from here.
the pipe, and it doesn't really seat as good as it used to.
So it's right here, this little where it goes from black to metal.
Yeah.
So we're worried there might be a small leak there. BCP is gonna do a full leak down test on it. So if it is leaking, they'll let us know. I honestly, looking at it, don't think it's gonna leak, but it's kind of sketch. So he's just going through now. Gonna put all the pipes in the intake in. We have the first pipe for the intercooler in. Now we're hooking the intake back up, which you can see down there. The mud guard. Do we have to cut the mud guard for this part? Oh, to clear this one.
You have to cut it where the pipe is, so like right here and right here.
Yeah, so because this is gonna go up, and obviously it hits it. So we're gonna trim that so it fits perfectly. That's what Grimm Speed says to do, so that's what we're gonna do. So once the intake's back in, we're gonna be doing the pipe over here, obviously. So it's really starting to come together now. So Robert's getting the mud guard trimmed up now. The parts in the oven for his battery will be done in 10 minutes. So after this, Robert, what do we have to do next?
The exhaust side, or not the exhaust side, the fucking...
The hot side?
The outlet side of
The hot side.
the cool side of the intercooler. Put it to the throttle body, tighten some things up, make sure I didn't forget any harnesses so I can drive home tonight without my car exploding, and then get on our way.
Yeah, it's pretty late. We're both very busy people. I'm gonna have a video dropping after this video on my new car. First day in owning it. I bought the car knowing it had some problems, like I'm not complaining. The last owner was super upfront with everything. They're brand new tires, and I popped one, so I had to get it replaced. I couldn't find their Federal tires. I couldn't find the exact one I needed. It's a pretty rare size. So I just found a Toyo that fits for now. I'm going to try to go through the warranty through his paperwork, see if I can get a new one. If not, I'll just buy a new one that matches. And then what else went wrong today? So I was supposed to be here like 4 hours ago. We were supposed to start at like 2. He had to stay late at work. And then my tire blew, so we didn't get started. It's already like midnight, so we're pretty tired. So it seems like we're all over the place. That's why.
I worked like 70 hours this week.
Yeah, so we are pretty tired in the shop right now. The morale is low. Alright, so now he's putting on, what'd they call that part? The bumper bar or whatever?
Yeah, this is the replacement bumper bar that fits over the intercooler. It's $120, like replacement. I said, why not?
Yeah, versus that. It definitely looks a lot better.
I said, if I'm spending this much on an intercooler, it better be worth it, so.
And that's the wrinkle black, so that red really pops through. I wonder how much you'll see it once the bumper's on.
Well, you definitely see it in the engine bay.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
This just finished in the oven. You can tell looks good as fuck. My iPhone 8 camera probably doesn't make it look very good. But once that cools down, I'm gonna go ahead and mount it. He's trying to find where he put the bumper bolts for the bumper bar. That's why that's not on yet. Alright, so we got the bumper bar on, and then what are you doing now?
I'm cleaning up all the stuff I did for the TGV deletes. Just putting all the hoses back where they were supposed to go. And the next step is fishing the intercooler pipe up through here to the throttle body.
Alright, so as you can see, like, it looks dope. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten up all the nuts real quick. Obviously the same way you took it off, just put it right back on. So we just finished up all the stuff from the TGV deletes, putting it all back together like the heat shield. Now, so we just have this clamped on here, putting the bolts in here, and then obviously it runs all the way down there. And it's gonna go right into here, into the intercooler. So that's next. So as you guys can see, it's just a coupler there, and it's this pipe here. Just gotta push it into that coupler, put the 2 clamps on, and then that comes down to right here. It's like where the intercooler is, obviously. And then we have one more left, right? No, this is the last one. This one isn't mounted up yet, it's just sitting there. But this comes down to right in there. And then this coupler comes here. So you gotta get the angle a little bit better. So it's probably like hard to see right here. Just pushing it into there. And then you have a 45 that goes from there to there, and then it should be done. We just gotta go through, tighten everything. Make sure nothing's leaking, obviously. Everything should be good. And if there is a tiny leak anywhere, BCP is gonna do a full rundown on it. So we're not too worried about it, but we think everything should be good. The only like semi-worry we have is where it mounts onto the back. Can't really see it from up here. Not everything back in, but to the back of the turbo where that one spot was. And then they give you this little mesh thing you just put over there. They give you the 2 zip ties. You zip tie it on where it sits against the hose. Alright guys, so he's putting on the last coupler now, where it goes up to the intercooler. You see it just kind of pushes over. It's ribbed on there. And all the clamps go on. So this side is now done, just needs to be tightened up. This side's done. The intake's back up. So pretty much now we just need to go through, check that everything's perfect. Obviously we've been following the Grimm speed video, so everything should work. And then after that, we need to put the bumper back on, and I believe that's it.
bumper and skid plate.
And this skid plate, that's us to go back on. We were gonna powder coat it, but we're kind of tired, so we're like, fuck it. You're never gonna see it anyways. I got that obviously bolted back up. Doesn't really match, but whatever. They're both red. I'm just gonna go through, wipe down some of the shit, because some of it's dusty, make it look nice and clean. Alright guys, so everything for all of these is all tightened up. Now we're just gonna washer fluid bottle back in, which is pretty close. Just like that. So you just gotta tighten up the bolts at the bottom. After that, it's just the bumper and the skid plate. Alright, so it's almost 1 in the morning. We got the washer fluid back in, bolted up. Everything on the top of the motor is totally done. All we have now, he's putting up the skid plate now, put the bumper on, and then we are out here for tonight. Alright guys, so as you can see, all it's left now is finishing up putting the bumper on. Kind of see it through there. Once we cut this, that's gonna make you like really see through there. But that definitely looks a lot better. Looks pretty mean. Especially with the engine bay open, you see the pipe coming up. You look over here, you can't really see anything from over here at all, but it definitely looks a lot cooler over there. Alright guys, so we're finishing mounting up the bumper right now. That's gonna be it for today's video. If you guys wanna see some more content on the Subaru, we can do a video when it gets back from BCP, showing it driving, talking about what it made on the dyno, etc, etc. And then in the future, he has a lot of plans for it, so we can make some videos on that.
Big turbo E85.
Yep.
60 mil turbo. Or
So,
bust.
like I said, we got these installed, and then we got the Grimm speed intercooler installed. We're planning on cutting this all out. A lot of people do it so you can see straight through. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. See ya.